What's going on, everybody? This is KAIJU King, one half of the KAIJU Brothers, here with another episode of how to create an anime, manga, or comic character. In today's episode, we're going over a character by the name of Rei Ocotillo. Ocotillo being a hardy plant that grows out in the desert. It's really spiny, but it does produce a very beautiful reddish type of flower. Rei Ocotillo is a witch of the waste. The waste is a desert wasteland that surrounds the inhabitants of our story here in Mad Science that they live in. But at one point in time, the waste was known as a place to have more vegetation, so it wasn't as arid and dry, and the environment wasn't what it was previously. So she's trying to see if she can restore that to its former nature. In addition to that, she's looking for her sister who was lost in an ether storm. Ether is a substance of energy that is naturally created or permeates throughout the world in mad science. It can be used for magic effects and as well as powering vehicles and whatnot if harnessed in that fashion. And so that's currently what this character is about, and she travels again with a band of witches as well throughout the sands of the waste. So that's Rei Ocotillo. As far as the design for this character, I wanted to pull some reference from I believe the name is Yoshitaka Amano, the artist from Final Fantasy. So you can see that design actually permeated throughout maybe the helmet, the horn helmet. I also wanted to have that symbolized in the name of the character. So the Ocotillo plant, I believe, has spines or spindly. So I had that being shown in her headdress, as well as the colors for her outfit kind of point to these symbolization of the waste. So a lot of golds, yellows, greens, and then you have the flowers being the bright red or the pink. I'm adding details onto the weapon. As you can see, her weapon has the bright flowers on there. Once I get around the coloring it, actually I've added like these straps to her jacket, these long black straps. And I was kind of undecided what I wanted to kind of do with the thigh-high boots, because I knew I didn't want to go or stick with that type of design. But as I continued working on it, I kind of got that figured out. I'm adding grayscales on this at the moment as well before I switch to coloring it. And again, that's something I started in some of my earlier videos. For those that have been following, and it's just something I kind of recommend in regards to the coloring process. I find that it to be a lot easier if you drop your grayscales first and then follow it up with your colors. I think kind of detail is important. Sometimes not putting too much detail can also aid a picture as well. But I'm trying to get into more of the habit of adding more detail to the art. It gives the eye a lot to follow. Definitely gives some level of excitement, I'm sure, for the viewer as well. And I colored all of that in, but again, I think as I continued on, I decided to go with something slightly different for the design. Been pulling a lot of inspiration from the whole entire cyberpunk series. So as it was seen in Doe's Kappa or the Big Kappa that I worked on before, I kind of pulled a little bit of inspiration further when working on Rei. So kind of ditching the thigh-high boots, I opted to go ahead and just go with some form of tight-fitting clothing, kind of akin or close to leggings. And then around her waist, I added a jacket. And falling in line with her having a contract with an Azure salamander, which is a monster of the waste, um, I added flames that are going around her, emanating from the book and then going around the sides of her. And as I was stating earlier, you can see in as far as the color scheme for the jacket around her waist and even the jacket around her shoulders, it's like a red and dark gold or brownish type of theme, yellow for the boots. Um, and again, that's just to play off the color scheme of where she comes from as a character. I think that helps a lot when you're working with a character to think about the colors that you want to use. That helps the audience better relate to who that character is and what they're about. Certainly as well, again, when you're working on characters, it's best never to try to pigeonhole yourself or just lump yourself into one box regarding inspiration, whether that is writing or just drawing in general. It's best to pull again inspiration from a multitude of different sources. Find again what it is that you really enjoy about that art or that writing, and then see if you can add your own artistic flair to it. Make it your own. That's really one of the joys of being an artist or just a creative in general. If you really enjoyed the video, a like and a comment goes a long way. If you know any type of aspiring artists or writers that may benefit from this sort of material, please share this with them as well. We have more content that will be on the way, character creation videos, as well as how to create manga and comic art in general. So we'll have tutorials on how to actually do the sequential art and that whole entire process will be on the way to you all. So keep an eye out for that. Thank you, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.